Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations video for you today. And for the soundtrack for this video, listening to Brave Yesterdays by Catatonia. Really good compilation. Definitely check that out. But what I am here to talk about today is the concert that I went to last night, and I got to mark two legendary bands in the realms of rock and metal off my list of bands that I wanted to see. And I'm talking about Alice Cooper, the king of shock rock, and Deep Purple. Yeah, I mean, the whole night was quite an event, let me tell you. Because the place that was being held at is kind of like an outdoor amphitheater, or whatever you want to call it. And I've only ever been to this place one other time, and I didn't drive, and this was like 17 years ago when my sister took me to see Kiss for the first time for my 18th birthday. And so I'd never driven to this place before, never actually been on a freaking freeway before. So, you know, I got Google Maps up, Tyler's navigating me, telling me where to go, and yeah, it was quite an adventure for the both of us, which it always seems to be when we go to concerts. But we had a really good time, and we made it there in one piece. So, you know, the gates to get into the parking were supposed to open, they said at 4:30, but by 4:15 they started letting us in. And it was one of those things that they didn't let you just pick where you could park. They were pretty much, you know, guiding us out, you park here, and they had us kind of packed in like sardines, which really sucked, because I thought, man, once this show ends, how long is it going to take me to get out of here? But as luck would have it, by the time we got out at 11 o'clock, the people in front of me and the ones beside me had all left, so I just had pretty much a straight pull out to get to where I needed to be. And getting home was an adventure as well, because you know, Google Maps was wanting me to go one way, which basically would take me like back through the heart of downtown. And my dad told me that, you know, not to go that way, so I basically ended up shutting off Google Maps, and I talked to him on the phone all the way back to getting back to Tyler's house. But anyway, so we get there. We go up to the gates to wait for them to open, because they didn't open until like 5:30. And they had two lines on the very end that were set up for, one was for early entry, and then another one next to it. They were both actually lines where if you have backpacks, because me and Tyler both have these little Elysian bags that we got when we saw the Metal Blade tour on, so we had to get in those lines, and luckily for us, we were the first ones in our line. So, you know, once they finally decided to open the gates, we walked through, and what was nice is that the merch booth, which I don't know if there was another one, I think that there might have been another one, I don't know, but this was the only one we saw, the only one we really wanted to go to, because we wanted to hurry up and get good spot, because basically what you have, the way this place is set up is you got the stage, then they got a like little fenced-in area, like a pavilion that has actual seats that you got to buy tickets for, and the rest is just an open lawn. And we had lawn seats because they were cheaper, and so we wanted to hurry up and get a good spot. But first thing we did, we hit the merch booth, and I will show you what I picked up at the end of this video. And I knew that stuff was going to be expensive, especially with you got big name bands like this, but I still got some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so we got our merch, and we lucked out because we were there early enough that I was able to get us, because the way it's set up to get to the lawn is they have like these little steps, like a series of 4 or 5 steps, and then it goes right into the lawn. So we basically sat down the edge of the lawn and, you know, onto the steps and everything, and we had like just to the left of center stage, and we had a really, really good spot. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that, somebody was hollering at me. But anyway, so we had a pretty good seat. We were basically center stage, just slightly off to the left, had a really good view, and of course they had speakers so you could hear out on the lawn. They had monitors surrounding it so people could still see. And first up was the Edgar Winter group, which I know who Edgar Winter is, and after doing a little research before the concert, I actually realized I have heard a couple of his songs, and I actually enjoy those songs. Overall, he put on a very entertaining set. I mean, does it make me want to check out his studio stuff? Kinda, but I'm definitely not in a rush to, but he was very entertaining. And I gotta say, they did really well about bands getting on stage and getting, you know, off stage on time, because, you know, Edgar Winter went on supposed to go on at what is it, 6:45 is where they were supposed to go on at quarter till 7. Quarter till 7, he was on stage playing. His set ended at 7:30. Boom, he was done by 7:30. They did a half-hour change in between each band, and everything's just boom, 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 right on time. So props to them for that. And I'm actually going to talk about Deep Purple next because they were kind of the headliner. And I want to save Alice Cooper for last because that was like the highlight and probably the best set in my opinion. Now, Deep Purple, legendary band. I don't have to say anything about them. Everybody knows who Deep Purple is. And this is their long goodbye tour, basically, is what they're calling it. Because I think after this, they're pretty much done touring. And I don't know if they're going to record any more studio albums or what. But, you know, I knew this was probably going to be one of the once in a lifetime, at least for us, to actually go see this band. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. And I gotta say, they love their lights because they had a huge ass light show throughout the whole thing, and they had, you know, stuff on the screen behind them doing all kinds of crazy shit. Which, if anybody suffers from seizures, definitely be warned about that. But they played flawlessly. I mean, as long as they've been around, they know what they're doing, and they played a lot of good stuff. They actually had like maybe one song, I think, off of their new album, which was Time for Bedlam, off their latest one, Infinite, which I have not picked up yet. I'm definitely going to have to get around to getting that. But the majority of their stuff actually came off the Machine Head album, and they did 2 songs each off of Fireball and Perfect Strangers. But they played a lot of their hits. I mean, I got the track list right here. They had, it was Highway Star, Fireball, Strange Kind of Woman, Uncommon Man, which they dedicated to John Lord, Lazy, Knocking at Your Back Door, Pictures of Home, that they did a keyboard solo, which led into Perfect Strangers, then Space Truckin', and as I said, Time for Bedlam, which is their new song. Then they did a John South cover called Hush, and of course they had to end with Smoke on the Water, classic, which has one of the most recognizable guitar riffs ever. You know, anybody that hears that knows what song it is immediately. And you know, Ian Gillan was really cool. He has some really cool banter in between the songs. But yeah, I mean, this is the last tour that they ever do, or the last time they do anything as a band. I'm just glad that I was able to be a part of it, and then that, you know, me and my nephew got to experience that. But of course, we came for Alice Cooper. That was our big draw to this. Deep Purple was kind of like a bonus for us. Alice Cooper, oh my God. I've loved Alice Cooper ever since I heard the song Feed My Frankenstein when I was watching the Wayne's World movie. I mean, ever since then, I've just absolutely loved Alice Cooper. And he had an amazing set. I mean, we actually got to watch them do the guillotine on stage, and, you know, finally see that live and not just on a video that I'm watching was amazing. And also during the he played Feed My Frankenstein. He brought out the table, and of course, you know, they have him strapped to it with the gas mask on. A little smoke starts building up. Then you see lightning and sparks, and of course he ends up disappearing, and then he comes out in this huge ass Frankenstein monster outfit and sings the end of the song. And actually, he started chasing Nita Strauss, one of his basically his newest guitarist, around the stage at one point, which was really funny. But yeah, his track listing again, greatest hits in a way. He only played one new song, which is off his latest album, Paranormal, which is fantastic, by the way. That was a Paranoiac Personality. But the whole track listing, he started off with Brutal Planet, which is probably off of one of his heaviest albums, I think. And a lot of people don't like the Brutal Planet album, but I actually think it's pretty good. But it was Brutal Planet, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Under My Wheels, $1 Billion Babies, Paranoiac Personality, Woman of Mass Distraction, which was really cool because he kept referencing Nita Strauss every time he got to the chorus, and she is definitely a distraction because not only is she fucking hot, but she is an amazing guitar player. And out of all the players on stage, he had 3 guitar players and a bass player. She was the most animated out of all of them. You know, she was headbanging, she was whipping her hair around, but she nailed every guitar lick, every solo. was just spot on. Very good performer. And she's actually supposed to be releasing a solo album at some point, but I guess she's kind of concentrating on the Alice Cooper band. Hopefully down the line she'll actually get around to releasing that album. But she did a guitar solo after that, which led into Poison, which was one of my all-time favorite Alice Cooper songs. Then we have Halo of Flies, Feed My Frankenstein, Cold Ethel, Only Women Bleed, which led into snippets of Killer and I Love the Dead, which is around the time they used the guillotine and everything. And then, of course, he came out and did the closing song of I'm 18, and then came out for an encore of School's Out, which he ended with kind of a little bit of Pink Floyd's Brick in the Wall. So, yeah. Overall, his set was probably the best set, and we pretty much, pardon the expression, blew our load for Alice Cooper. And then when it came to Deep Purple, we weren't nearly as excited as we probably should have been seeing it. But yeah, and I actually, since I started, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I've started a scrapbook for my concerts that I'm going to. So I kind of made a special page for last night's concert. I printed out some pictures this morning. And got my little ticket stub, my very first actual ticket, not a printout. And then on the back, got that there. So yeah, on to the merch that I got. Get this bag open here. One thing I got is this really cool Spend the Night with Alice Cooper patch. I've been wanting an Alice Cooper patch, so I finally have that, and I can put on one of my jackets. And then I got this really awesome bandana, which I have backwards. Very cool. And let's see here. I did get if I can find it, little necklace here for Deep Purple. It has the logo there. It says Infinite on the back for the new album. And their t-shirt selection for Deep Purple, there's only I think 2 available, and I picked the one I like the most, and that is the Infinite artwork. And on the back, got the tour dates. And then, of course, Alice Cooper had to get the Paranormal shirt on the back. Paranormal World Tour 2017 to 18. So, yeah. Overall, amazing night. Another one I can file away in my scrapbook and my memories that I spend with, the times that I spend with my nephew. So we'll definitely remember this for the rest of our lives. I know that much. So that's going to do it. I'm going to quit yakking now. I got a lot of stuff to get done today. So thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. If you get a chance to catch this tour, definitely do so. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.